Relationship between Green Bay and the Packers. My conversation with Green Bay Mayor Jim Schmitt.
Your Honor,
it's nice to see you again.
I haven't seen you since the U.S. Conference of Mayors that we do on a regular basis.
Right.
You have a special position at the U.S. Conference of Mayors anyway, because the sports committee, sports advisory group, is a group whose mayors can participate if they have a pro sports franchise in town, in Dallas and New York and everybody else. And here is the mayor of a 100 and some odd thousand population town, and you are royalty basically. So it's a great honor for a great individual, but you must be really proud of leading a city with the Green Bay Packers in it.
Yeah, we are. We know we're blessed. It's special, right? I mean, like Mark said, by far we're the smallest size city to really have an NFL franchise, and not only an NFL franchise, but one that's very successful. You look at, talk about the economics, but like Mark said, just the people who come and take tours. I mean, those aren't local people. We had 175,000 people just this year come and take tours, and we take a lot of pride in the Packers too. I think it's just great for the community to have. It's great to have a franchise, but it's also great to have a winning franchise.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's awesome, and we as mayors, as you know, because you're so involved in the U.S. conference. Thanks for all you do for the conference,
great.
But it's economics too. I mean, it's pride in economics, and be it baseball, basketball, but I think the NFL is probably the ultimate franchise.
Ultimate franchise, and I can say it, and he can't and won't or doesn't have to, because that group of mayors at that level is a very interesting dynamic, because they all get along very well, but it's equivalent to a Saturn plant vying to move from one city to another, or a widget manufacturer, or whatever it is. And so the mayor of Seattle and the mayor of Oklahoma City will be cordial, but believe me, they almost came to blows when the Sonics left. You don't get into that because you clearly, legally, won't get into that, can't get into that. It's kind of in a refreshing perspective.
It is, because I think the mayors of who have private single owners, I think you live with that threat. I mean, I felt bad for Mayor Slay when the Rams moved, and I'm sure that I think they have a plan going forward. But that doesn't have to keep me awake at night, that the Packers are going to move, and that's healthy for the community. And but again, that's come from years, 91 years of supporting each other as well. But you're right, and I think there's still, you hear the rumors too at some of those mayors' conferences of somebody might be moving here or lobbying for this, and we don't have that here in Green Bay, and I'm glad.
But it is interesting because the dynamic of a public-private partnership is consistent, and you do that here, and you respect the fact what NFL economics really means, even though this stock share piece raises money. Mayor Jaden, I guess, one of your predecessor, was on the point of the Brown County sales tax, I guess it was, to introduce the dollars for the original renovation in 2003, a while ago.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I want to say that we had a stadium board that I was vice president of. I think that was really led by the public. This 0.5% sales tax, which generated about $18 million a year just from our little county.
And the point, not really who did it and who didn't, who takes credit for it, but the point is that for that to be approved, people in the region had to understand that this is a iconic legacy item that's worth protecting, and it wasn't really billionaire owners threatening to move. They didn't have that leverage, but you approved it basically close, but it led to the renovation.
Hey, you think about that, Rick. Yeah. The people of Greater Green Bay or Brown County voted for a sales tax. I mean, that means everything that we bought was going to be 0.5% more for the foreseeable future, and they did that. And I think they really understood that. Look, I really want to vote a tax increase for myself. Probably not. But then you look at the economics and you look at the pride of the community and just the partnership that we've had with Bob Harlan, who was the president at that time.
Mark,
and with Mark Murphy now. I think everybody would tell you now they voted for it, but it was closer than we thought.
And again, just to hammer home the point for an international audience, it's not easy, but the whole threat of moving an industry is always an important consideration when you lobby for subsidies or some kind of support from the public. That isn't here, and yet the Brown County voters voted to make sure that this infrastructure was continued to be perpetuated for the foreseeable future, which was amazing and unique.
It really was, and I think the other reason that we passed that, and that why some communities may struggle with that, is we don't have that wealthy owner. And look, I'm all about making money, but there just wasn't that. I don't know if it's animosity, but there wasn't that jealousy, right, of one individual owner. You're an owner, I'm an owner, I mean, our kids are, and I think people are like, we're okay with the money going to this public ownership versus an individual. Yeah. So it was healthy for Green Bay.
Are you an owner too?
I am. Oh yeah. I'm like Mark said. People who make money on this are the framers, but I've got stock certificate framed, hanging in my office.
Those kind of, not the Constitution framers, the picture framers.
No, I'm talking about the picture framers.
That's, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have more equity than I do? Do you have more voting rights? No, we're the same.
We're the same. We're the same. That's the beauty of the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, it is. So, what I started with here was kind of interesting. When you put the global franchises in perspective, and Forbes' numbers are pretty compelling. It's Real Madrid, it's the Cowboys, but the Packers are right in the middle of the list of the top 50 franchises worldwide. How does that make you feel as mayor of Green Bay?
That's incredible, right? I mean, a city our size, and I've been to a lot of cities like you, but I mean, 104,000 people they're in the municipality, and about 200,000 people in the metro area, and to have a franchise that wins, plus the value that Forbes said it holds, it's incredible from a marketing perspective. Often when we're recruiting businesses or educational facilities, everybody knows Green Bay, and that's a good place to start. We don't have to explain who we are, and I think sometimes they see too much of the Packers, but we parlay that, and we tell people, international people that come in, as well as people throughout the United States, that the Packers' values are the Green Bay's values. I mean, we love to win, but I mean, it's focused on families, community, and I think businesses like that, the same structure of having this community partnership. And, the Packers have led that since 1919, which is incredible.
So hard for others to quantify with the emotion that a mayor, an experience that a mayor would have on this one. Obvious but harder to quantify. Industry relocation, quality of life, feeling good about a community. How important are the Packers?
Yeah, and it's right up there. I think people need to understand the Green Bay's more than 10 games a year. Right. And as Mark said, this facility is utilized pretty much every day. I'm out here a lot for charity fundraisers, for meetings, but that civic pride. It's like the Green Bay Symphony, our children's museum. I mean, people love to have ownership of what the community's all about. Our university, which is a D1 school, our medical college. And you put the Green Bay Packers right in there. That we're very proud of this, and not only would never take it for granted. I mean, I think that's healthy for the community. And on the other hand, I do want to say that, and I was here when they weren't as successful, and. I mean, people can have a bad Monday, but we got to move on as well. Right. But it's just
been a bad 2 decades.
They did. They did.
Sorry,
that was tough.
Yeah, sorry, bad 2 decades. Everybody in this room is agreeing with me. Don't look the other way.
All right, but we still have more champions than anyone else.
Clearly,
so,
by far, by the way. And so, at the end of the day, do the Green Bay Packers fit into your business development advocacy strategy around the country as well?
And I think as much as we love football and the pride of the Packers and Bart Starr and all that, it is a business. Yeah. And it's an economic catalyst for us. I mean, I hope you can take your viewers and kind of show them the development that's going on. I mean, this, I've known you for maybe 10 years, but I mean, 50 years ago, this was a cornfield here. And you just look at the development and 5 expansions, and now what's going on with some new hotels, some new businesses here across the street. And you're really taking a property and increasing the value all around here. And then, there's this whole residual effect too with tourists that come in and go other places and stay here, and so and it's been good. And as a recruitment tool, we have a lot of partnerships. I mean, Mark Murphy and I have both gone and called on businesses together, and what a partnership that is. And so I mean, we love the game of football, but as the mayor, I see it much more than that. Is this whole economic development and tourism dollars and really just elevating the presence of the city of Green Bay.
When you do step down, whenever that is, are you running again?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in my 4th term. I'll be the longest-serving mayor in Green Bay's history, and it's.
Are you term limited?
No.
Oh, so you can run for another 5 or 6 terms if you
Yeah,
want. How's your golf game?
It's getting better. It's getting better.
Right.
It's getting
So,
better.
And you get more shares if you win?
No.
So there's no incentive to do
It
anything
isn't.
more.
They just.
All right.
The
So what are you
incentive
gonna-
I have is to have happy constituents, and the Packers
Good for you.
help that.
Good
so.
for you. That's as good as I could get to get Mayor Schmitt to commit or not commit, but he is a classic politician and also a good friend. Thank you very much for
Thank
that.
you.
Really
I'm glad you're
appreciate
here.
it. So let me just conclude.